Alright, what's going on, guys? So the FIREBASE trailer has just dropped, and today we're going to be breaking it down and going over everything you need to know about the map in this video. And I gotta say, it's a pretty stellar zombies trailer as far as all that we've gotten, and I'm gonna let you guys watch it once all the way through. Then we're gonna further break down some of the finer details and talk about the things that are actually relevant to what you need to know about the map itself. So, real quick, before we get too deep into this, make sure to drop a thumbs up on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to go ahead and do that. And without further ado, guys, enjoy the trailer, and then we're going to break it down after.
I'm still in the field. I have to meet a contact.
I am not proud of everything I have done, but I am proud of what I am doing. Omega must be stopped, no matter the personal cost to people like you and I.
No, my friend. They are the ones who are going to pay.
They have already opened their new worlds.
Ravenov, my team's reached the village.
Requiem, welcome to Vietnam. We have to get out of here now.
On the move.
I'd pick up the pace if I were you, for Max's sake.
Yeah! That's you.
If you're lying to me, if you betrayed her, if any harm comes to her, I will kill you myself.
Alright, so let's go ahead and take apart some of the things that you may have missed in that trailer. First and foremost, I want to point out that there is an actual in-game cutscene now. There is a physical CGI rendering of this entire situation. Now, we don't know if this is going to be for the opening, or potentially there could be mid-game or ending cutscenes part of FIREBASE, but the intro to this map is honestly really good, and it's good to see that it's animated. Early in the trailer, you can see a hand reach out of the portal of the Dark Ether and call to Samantha Maxis in, and this is likely how she gets herself into trouble, setting up the race against the clock kind of scenario that is present in FIREBASE. One of the zombie models that was shown looks very Origins-like as far as the headgear is concerned, but it's obviously wearing an Omega Group uniform, so some of their own men, as we discussed earlier, are being turned into zombies and are being afflicted by the Dark Ether, who voluntarily went in to go and explore and gather materials and things of that nature. Also, in this shot, we get a pretty good overview of what the layout is looking like, and not only is it pretty accurate to what we saw in the intel from D Machine previously, and then all of the teasers Treyarch had put out, it's basically completely on point with that stuff. But I'd also like to point out that I really like the color palette, the juxtaposition between the yellow, the green, the brown of the jungle, and then the nice purple that the Dark Ether presents. It's got a really, it's like really pleasing to the eye, so I'm glad to see that. It looks like the indoor areas are pretty closed in and are going to be fairly close quarters combat, and with a few open areas primarily around the outside near where like the pond and the water section is, which we'll get to in a second. We also get a real look at that mini-boss enemy that was teased in the posters that were revealed for FIREBASE, and from what the gameplay shows here, it looks like it's a pretty fast enemy. I doubt it's going to be anywhere near as tanky as the Megatons are in D Machine. It's probably going to be a much faster yet squishier enemy. As we head over to the indoor shots, you may have noticed these weird like purple orb machines. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume that these are like Dark Ether reactors, and they need to be activated somehow in order to get access to a certain other part of the map, or to do certain objectives, similarly to how you need to build Pack-a-Punch in the Dark Ether on D Machine, things of that nature. It's probably going to be a pretty similar scenario there. Looks like there is a pretty clear distinction about when the ether reactors are activated and when they're not. Now, I will say we don't get any shots of actually being in the Dark Ether. You know how in D Machine you go through the portal and the entire map it has a different color palette, and while the layout doesn't change the look and the feel of it, and some gameplay elements certainly do change, we don't get an exact shot just like bathed in Dark Ether. What we get is this shot on the outside, which looks to be some like Vietnamese villages with some water. It looks like there is going to be some degree of swimming in this map map. Whether the player's doing it or the zombies are is hard to tell right now, but water is present within this map, and it looks like there's like a kind of barrier set up around the entire village, maybe as a result of those dark ether reactors turning on or something of that nature. It looks like there's also MGs set up at the beach, so very similar to the lockdown sequence in Gorod Krovi, where you have access to the MG with an onslaught of enemies just piling onto you. Then you have, this is basically the only thing to fend them off with. Looks like we have a pretty similar setup in this map too. But some things that are the same as Gorod Krovi actually don't end there, and we're going to get into the juicy bits here in just a second. But let's talk about the wonder weapon. Now, for all intents and purposes, this appears to be like a flamethrower, grenade launcher, dark ether, AK looking weapon. It's very, very bizarre. It's a quite strange one indeed, but it looks like this fires area of effect explosive rounds that explode in a dark ether or like zombie essence power fashion. It looks pretty cool and actually really devastating, and I'm not sure if this is going to have, again, like 4 elemental unique upgrades. We didn't really suspect that with the shockwave, although it makes sense for that weapon type. I don't know if that's going to be a similar case, but there was probably going to be other wonder weapons involved regardless. The ray gun is also basically a given for this map. We finally get our first real look at Tombstone. The machine looks really sick, honestly. Like, I'm very impressed with how the design of this is. It looks way better than original Tombstone from Black Ops 2, just from a purely aesthetic standpoint. And again, the effectiveness, you could argue, is, you know, a little bit hit or miss. We have never even played with it yet, so that is still to be determined. If this map is a lot more difficult than D-Machine, then I can suspect Tombstone being an actually genuine good perk in this game. Now, this next thing I actually didn't see until I watched it a second time through. I would not blame you if you missed this at all, because it happened so fast, but another special boss is being added to FIREBASE C, and it's none other than the Russian Mangler. That's where more similarities of Gorod Krovi come in. It looks like it's taking some of the best elements from that map and implementing them here. I'm actually really excited to have the Russian Mangler back because, in my opinion, it is one of the better designed boss enemies in Call of Duty Zombies history, and it's certainly up there as one of my favorite. They essentially work like Brutus from Mob of the Dead, where they're just a bigger, beefier zombie, but they also have a cannon that can track you. I'm hoping it's balanced for Cold War, but just the idea and the overall design of the Russian Mangler isn't perfect, but I really think it's a good idea for this game. And then just after that, right at the very end of the trailer, we get to see the Elder God from literally the lore in D-Machine as being the high round Easter egg in this map. When you go to round like 40 or 45, you'll hear a distant monster off over on the side, and you can go to a certain area of the map and see this monster literally walking around, or at least just a silhouette of it. But we get it in full action right here. We can see that it's in its full majesty and glory, and it looks pretty insane. And the way it always seems to me, when Treyarch shows off one of these like huge things in a map, that's not all we have to expect. I highly doubt this big Elder God is going to be the final boss or like the biggest enemy or reveal that we have in this map. Treyarch never ever lays all their cards on the table in just a trailer, so that's like the fact that it gets better than this, or is likely to, is pretty dang exciting. We have this guy at the end of the trailer, we'll call him Captain R for now, and he basically is set up to be the antagonist of this map. You have a voiceover from Weaver saying that if you hurt Samantha Maxis, then he's going to personally kill you himself. He's talking to this guy on screen. So what it looks like, he's probably going to be our friend for the majority of the map, but will likely turn on us. That's what it's being set up to look like, that is. So far in the newer zombie storyline in this Dark Ether timeline we're in, we haven't had an actual antagonist setup. We've had an Omega group, but it's, you know, that's essentially just a group of people. There's no individual that we can really pinpoint right now and say is the bad guy, although it's looking like that's probably gonna change in this map. And, you know, the premise is we're saving Samantha Maxis, getting out of the FIREBASE as soon as possible. But all in all, this map is shaping up to be pretty good, it looks like. Won't lie, I was a little worried for the trailer to come out and for it to maybe not look as good as we were all hoping, but this has exceeded my expectations, to be quite honest with you. From what we see so far, in my personal opinion, this is looking to be just as good, if not better, than D-Machine. Obviously, we're going to have to play the map to see how its design functions as we go along, but that's going to be quite soon. February 4th is when the map comes out, so literally less than a week from now, and we will be playing this. It's free to everybody, so definitely jump in and try this out. But if you guys enjoyed enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like rating and subscribe if you're new to the channel, because I'll have you guys covered on everything with Firebase C. I will have an ultimate guide to the map, I'll have a solo Easter egg guide, and plenty other stuff to help you along and get the most out of that experience. Also, wanted to tack this on at the end. We did end up hitting 400k, and I'm not going to go too much into it in this video because I have something else planned that is going to be uploaded shortly after this video that is properly thanking you guys. But seriously, I really appreciate the support, and I have something special coming for you guys very soon. I also stream zombies on Twitch. If you don't already follow me, link to that is in the description. I will be hunting the Firebase C Easter egg as soon as the map drops, so come over there and hang out, and it's going to be a great time. Other than that, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all on the next stream or the next video. Take it easy, guys, and peace out.